Good morning and welcome to Valheim. I'm your host, Hertz, and we're going to do a quick walkthrough of what's been happening on our private server. I can't take a lot of credit for most of this, so let's just take it away. We're sitting here in the Great Hall of Devon's Bane. It is called Devon's Bane because this is where I died, and my friends decided to build a house here while I ran halfway across the planet to get back to my corpse. So, all credit for actually building this great hall goes to my buddy Crash, who was actually doing the lion's share of the design work and laying things out. I helped a little bit with the roofs and the stairs, but pretty much he built the whole thing. And my buddy Arcturus actually mined pretty much all of the stone and the wood that we needed. The guy's an absolute beast. Arcturus and I helped build the palisades around here. I still need to do something about the side of the beach. At high tide, the water actually comes in and gets under the house. And on my first night alone here, I ended up actually having to fend off the baddies of the forest. This is before we had actually built the second level on the main entryway here, which also Crash deserves credit for because he put that all together for me. But we didn't have a way to actually defend against the guys coming out of the forest and attacking the fort. So I had to build a secondary level here so that I would have a commanding view of everything across the front walkway, and then of course we built a tower over the second gate. So let's grab a little snack and make sure all of our stuff is repaired and kitted up, and we will be on our merry way. Alright, so since I'm kind of recording this, you can see the water coming in, you can see the water underneath me there. Since I'm recording this primarily for people who may be new to Valheim, what I'm showing you, to the best of my knowledge, I mean, this was all done in one evening's time, and it was done late in the evening after I had already died, and we had spent most of our time going all over the place. But basically, you can set up shop anywhere. You can build a workbench, you cover it, and then you just start going from there. But it's pretty straightforward. If you're used to survival questing games, you can just find food. If you kill animals, you have to cook it so that you can eat it. But you can find berries and mushrooms. And I'll show you in a little bit when we go to the main house how cool that actually can be, because we've reached the point where we have our own meadery, and we're putting things together over there, and that's actually pretty exciting because we have a lot going on. So anyway, we'll just go ahead and take a little stroll out into the world, and I'll probably fast pace this so that way you guys don't have to actually see what's going on the entire time. But we're gonna make our way from our little home down here. That's my corpse from the other day, all the way up here to the great village, and maybe we'll actually pass by my first house on the way. So let's have a little stroll and see what we can find out here in the real world. Oh look, our first little dude. So these guys, they just drop usually a bit of stone. The dwarves drop a little bit of resin. Pick up some stones while we're on our way. That's another stone. Chop a tree with my axe. Pick up some wood. Basically, at first you're just doing some foraging, whatever you can grab and whatever you can knock down. You have to knock down saplings with your fists, but eventually you get better, and you get better equipment. You get your axes and what have you, and picks so you can mine the stone. Foraging for mushrooms. I'm sure my buddy Bleeding Hole will love that. And raspberries, so we can make the Queen's Jam. Oh, look, see, there's a deer. Maybe we can pull this one off. Oh well. That's what I get for stuttering that at the last moment. So the views are pretty good. Actually being able to see Yggdrasil, the world tree, in the background all the time is pretty exciting if you're into Norse mythology. And you have to constantly eat. So if you look down in the lower left, you'll see some of my food is flashing. You have to eat constantly to stay at peak efficiency. It's a little insane. But this is another part of what we've been figuring out, is that different compositions of food give you different benefits, and now that we have our kilns and what have you up, or in our kilns, our cauldrons, we are in a position where we can actually create complex foods, stews, jams, things like that, that last a lot longer. Catch the deer in the water. No, it's too smart for me. If you're swimming and you swim too long, you will run out of stamina and you will drown. So that's also something that you have to consider. Coming up on the original campsite. So you have places like this where there's an altar and you put an offering on the altar and you get to summon one of the bosses to fight. The party has already managed this other boss before I did, but I haven't picked up my boon yet. So this is where you land when you first come in if you haven't actually gotten to that point yet. And as you collect the bosses, you'll get different boons. So. Grab me some superpowers, which I don't know how to use yet, so don't worry about that. Maybe on the way I will find a deer that I can kill properly. Let's try this again. Missed it again. Like all survival games, you get cold, you get wet, you know how that goes. Found a lot of raspberries on the way. Alright, so, let's see, is this mine? Yeah. So we're actually coming up on where I put my first house down. It wasn't mine, I basically copped someone else's house, and now they have removed a little shed from where I actually had this stuff. Actually, it looks like they dismantled my house entirely, and this is a completely separate house. Yep. So, that's just what happens. I mean, we're all in this together, so clearly they decided to manhandle my space. but that's all right. I'm not going to complain. Dandelions also, pretty much, you know, it's everything else. Just forage, 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 and find a bunch of stuff. Off in the distance, in the lightning strikes, you can now see the party's main village. I can't take credit for any of this. This was all pretty much being built while I was still out being a lonely little hermit. This stuff moves pretty fast. Oh, here's a little bad dude. Not for long, though. Yeah, it's not all just wandering around on your own. There are things trying to kill you from time to time. So anyway, this was originally just all in the open out here on the coastline, and Arcturus built this giant palisade all the way around it. By the time, well, most everybody slept, and then we came in, and then poof, suddenly it was there. Well, that's strange. There shouldn't be a queen bee hiding out there. Did somebody get in, beat up on things? Can I actually build it? Yes. So, if you find a queen bee, then you can build a beehive. And when you build a beehive, they make honey. And you can eat honey, which is what I've been doing. That's my honey right there. But you can also use it for mead. So we'll get to that here in a second. You can coax the wild boars with mushrooms and other things. Actually, and then if you know, they'll become friendly to you, and then you can coax them into a little pen, and then they will breed and do breeding things. Most of the plants you can find. These are growing carrots here, so you can just grow carrots. When you can get a boat to behave itself, which I haven't actually been party to the boat riding yet, but the rest of the party has. Oh, look, we have wagons there. Crash also built this pretty amazing dock, which I think is pretty cool. If I can find a good way to look at it. There we go. Just keep that low angle. Alright, let's go look at the real fun stuff. See, the team has put a wide variety of watchtowers up, so we can see what's going on. The big baddies decide they want to come and kick up fuss. Some convenient bridges over all the waterways because of where we built on the coast. And this is the party's mighty forge. So you can mine ore, and so you can put wood in the kiln to create charcoal, and it pops out pretty fast. You can put raw ore in the forge to make bars, and then of course, you know, that gives you the necessary materials to build your metal items, like the handy bronze axe I'm hanging on to right now. But this is the real pride, the cauldron and the fermenter. So let's see, can I actually do anything? Oh, we need a lit fire. So always gotta have fire everywhere you go. Oh, I just used all my wood, damn it. So I can't really make anything at the moment, but on principle, these are the fun things we could do. So we could go ahead and make some if we were in such a mind to do so. but I am not because I haven't been doing this. We do have some raw food, so we're going to go ahead and cook that because we're going to need that later. And when you go to the kiln, you can just, it creates charcoal, and then you can use that charcoal for other things, partly for building and partly for some other components. Oh, maybe I should put it in there. And you can see the bronze, the tin, the copper. We got raw copper ore. Transporting that stuff is also kind of a pain. Flint, different types of wood. You can have fine wood and core wood, which are used for making different things. Dwarfy, killing bad dudes. And of course, this is the party's great hall. You'll smoke yourself out if you don't take care of making sure you have a good chimney for your fires, so that's something else to consider. Looks like somebody... Don't get too close to the fire, you'll catch yourself on fire, so that's always something to consider. But yeah, I mean, the party really, really went to town on this. So many of the other groups just put things together. It's pretty impressive. I was in awe when I popped in here, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just building my scrappy little hut, and that's all I've got. See, wait, see that the food, come on. Stop getting me on fire, just give me my food. Alright, but, you know, since you, when you have the resources, you don't have to travel overland to all the places you want to go. You can instead use a powerful portal. So, Summerfell, which is Crash's joint that he's been working on. Tahoe, I'm not certain where that is because I haven't traveled there yet. Wolfnar, which was formerly Thanos, that was Arcturus's joint. And Devon's Bane, which we're affectionately going back to so that I can end the video. And then I'm back home with my own stuff. So still have a lot of things I want to do to spice this place up and make it a little more me, but here we go. So step outside. Oh, and these are my defenses against my horrible beasties who want to come in here, fuck with my world. You have to use resin, which you usually get from killing crappy little dudes to light your torches. These, if you actually build these facing the pointy end, you might stab yourself. And if you are running back home and you forget that they're in the tall grass, you can stab yourself like this. So, and it also damages them, so you might need to repair them a little bit. Make sure everything's okay. Oh, yep, somebody ran into that one while I was away. Ow, damn it. So, yeah, they're very fidgety. But you're going to want them when the bad guys show up and try to wreck your house. Carving this chunk of wood out of the way here. Oh, not close enough to the crafting station. Yeah, and you have to have crafting stations everywhere in order to make this stuff work, so that's another big part of how all of this gets managed. So, but the crafting stations also keep the bad guys from spawning too close to an area, so that's also something to consider. Alright, so that's Valheim. Hope you guys give it a try. I think might actually like it.